first question. This is a job application. What qualifies you for the job, and what are your goals? And there's a second question I want you to answer at the same time. How will you listen to your constituents? We're going to go Sandstrom first, then Bob, because you went first. And so if you guys will help me do the ping pong.
Well, I guess it's the resume and why I have the experience and why I should be a legislator. I guess the number one thing on my resume is that I am the current legislator in this district. And I have represented the people in my district well. I've listened to them. I've listened to their issues. I've answered their emails and their questions. And I've been able to make a difference at the state legislature. What I've brought with me is a wealth of knowledge that I gained as a 3-term city councilman in the city of Orem, where I learned to listen to people. I knew the issues at the most basic grassroots part of politics, which is city politics. And I've been able to take that knowledge with me up to the state capitol. As a resume, I guess, for that, I'm a well-rounded person. I'm an architect by profession. I'm a former U.S. Marine and airline pilot that I did for a while in between my careers. And my goal has always been to represent a diverse, nature of being a legislator. We shouldn't focus on one issue. I've been able to sponsor legislation to help wildlife. I've sponsored legislation for schools to help get more money to school. I've sponsored legislation that has cracked down on identity theft. And so I think my resume speaks for myself in my voting record as a conservative Republican legislator in the state legislature.
I'm not going to say back and forth. Just go ahead.
I've had experience in leadership in a variety of venues. The Boy Scouts of America is not a small organization, and in the difficult challenges in the Utah National Parks Council, where we have the lowest funding per professional scouter of anyone in the nation, sounds very similar to our public school system, where we have the largest class sizes and the lowest expenditure per pupil of any place in the nation. Wrestled with those issues through the National Parks Council. I've also wrestled with them through the school system, serving as a school superintendent, having some experience over that 12-year period of being at the legislature during that 45-day session each year, attempting to wrestle with those particular challenges, leadership opportunities on committees with UVU and in my church opportunities. So that's what I think I bring to the job. As far as listening, I think that people would generally say I'm a listener. I don't know a long way from knowing all of the myriad issues that are dealt with, but I want to learn. I am a listener. I'm also a bridge builder. I think I can find common ground. I have great interest beyond education, transportation, healthcare, legislative ethics reform, and these are some of the things I'm concerned with.
How does a representative join a subcommittee in the House of Representatives? Do you have a preference for one subcommittee or another? And what issues do you view as critical to the subcommittee upon which you'd like to serve?
Education subcommittee. And it's I don't know if this would be of interest to you, but it's important to me. I'd like to share it. One of the advantages I have running as a Democrat is that I believe I can be placed on the education subcommittees, perhaps both the standing committee and the appropriation committee. I think I have a possibility for that. They need some Democrats on those committees, and experience with education. I think that I can be on those committees, and I think I can make a contribution. In this sense, it's about me and not about party, but I think I can be placed on that committee. Other committees I have interest in: transportation, healthcare, legislative ethics. I'd take whatever assignment they gave me, and I would do the very best I could with those assignments. I mentioned the issues I think that are critical, and just to mention perhaps legislative ethics. You may be aware, I wasn't aware, but the campaign contributions that I've received, and I appreciate those that have donated to my campaign. Parenthetically, at the last report, 262 individual donations to my campaign. I'm very grateful for that. It's my money. I could make a house payment with it. I could make a car payment with it. We need to have legislative rules that say that I cannot benefit personally from those campaign funds.
Thank you, Representative Sandstrom.
First of all, the subcommittees, you can request a certain subcommittee that you may want to be on, but the one that assigns the subcommittees is House leadership, and it ultimately goes through the respective caucuses, and then the Speaker appoints you or assigns you to a committee. I happen to be currently on the Health and Human Services Standing Committee and the Division of Natural Resources Standing Committee. And I'm also on the Appropriations Committee for the Division of Natural Resources. Now, there are committees I've enjoyed being on. I prefer to be on the Natural Resources because it has a lot of things I'm interested in. Energy, wildlife, and a myriad, water rights, a myriad of issues that are on that committee. And one thing that needs to be noted is that you may be on a committee, but the Democrats are in the minority, and they have a minority position even in these committees. And being such, your ideas have to go and be approved by the majority party, which is the Republican Party. So you might have some input, but the real way to get things done on these subcommittees is through the party that has the majority on those subcommittees. I must note that as a member of the Natural Resources Subcommittee, I have been very involved in getting our oil shale resources tapped here in the state of Utah. We have more recoverable oil shale oil in the state of Utah than there's crude oil in the Middle East. And it's kind of interesting that as we have proceeded to try and get these resources out, the ones that have bought it and blocked it in the Utah House of Representatives has been the Democrats. And the Democrats in the national, in Congress, Representative Hensey, who's the chairman of that appropriate committee in Washington, has blocked us, has prevented us from accessing our oil shale resources right here in the state of Utah.